It's certainly true that the state of our nervous system determines the state of the world as we perceive it. A lot of illnesses are genuinely psychosomatic, because psyche means their emotional apparatus, and soul, if you will, and soma is the body. And because of the mind-body unity and the unshakable unity of our emotional system and the brain's emotional circuits, with the nervous system, the immune system, and the hormonal apparatus, it's a unit. It's a psychosomatic unit. That's a really great word. But when most people hear psychosomatic, they think we're just telling them they're imagining their diseases, which is very often how doctors have used it. And it's the same with stress. Now, stress is a genuine psychophysiological event. Stress isn't some fancied, imagined fantasy on the part of the patient. Stress is actually what happens when the organism faces pressures that are beyond its capacity to deal with chronically. And that results in the release of stress hormones, adrenaline and cortisol, amongst other things. Stress also affects the immune system. Stress affects the gut. Stress affects the brain. It affects the heart. What's the medical term for hypertension, for high blood pressure? Hypertension. And we, as physicians, we're trained that, well, there's 5% of hypertension is explainable due to kidney disease or some hormonal abnormality, but 95% is what we call essential hypertension, which means we haven't got a clue what's causing it. Come on, people. Read the word. Hypertension. Hypertension. Too much tension. That's what causes hypertension. I mean, and those from all kinds of studies. In other words, it's the impact of stress and high levels of adrenaline on the cardiovascular system. Now, when your doctor uses the word stress and the patient thinks that I'm being dismissed, they often are being dismissed, because the physician himself or herself or themselves don't recognize the unity of mind and body. Well, that's not how it works. In the genuine sense of the word, as we know from millions of studies, stress has huge impacts, and they have impacts even sometimes when we can't measure them. There's no clinical test that'll diagnose or rule out fibromyalgia, but it's clearly a stress-related condition. And when you study people's lives with fibromyalgia, salient amongst the findings is significant degrees of childhood trauma and childhood adversity and their impacts on the body.